how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be doing a bit of a live drawing of the thumbnail because I don't have anything recorded that relates to the topic. Well, I do, but I want to save it for the next video because last night, as I'm recording this, I saw a little known movie called Shin Kamen Rider. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I had to see Shin Kamen Rider as soon as it came out, and this is going to be a non-spoiler first impression video. So yeah, no spoilers. So you're safe for now. Next week, though, I plan on doing a full spoiler review after I see the movie a second time, because honestly, with Ano's movies, or like just Ano's work in general, you kind of need to see it more than once to kind of get everything. But yeah, first impressions. So, for those of you who don't know, Shin Kamen Rider is a reboot of the 1971 series Kamen Rider, and is also an adaptation of both the show and the manga being written by Shotaro Ishinomori. Before I get things set up, I should probably pull up the IMDb page for Shin Kamen Rider so I can get all the actors' names and whatnot. Yep, there we go. So sorry you're not seeing anything on screen other than me drawing. So I let's get to my thoughts. So I do genuinely love this movie. And by the way, this is not a review so much because um there's still I want to watch it again before I go deep into my thoughts about it, but overall I did love it even though it wasn't an immediate love, I will admit. Um because I don't know, for some reason this wasn't hitting the same like it did for Shin Ultraman and Shin Godzilla. Granted, it could there could be factors to that like one, I have more of a connection to Ultraman and Godzilla because I grew up with Godzilla and I've been watching more Ultraman than I have Kamen Rider throughout the years. Like Ultraman was big in my teenage years. Where Kamen Rider was definitely a factor later on in teenage years, but obviously because of availability and whatnot, I didn't like finish entire series until like fairly recently. When I mean fairly recently, I mean like last year is when I started to actually finish series I started because I've been watching Kamen Rider for a while. It's just I never get to like watch like full on like I never like finished the series I started until again recently. Anyway, this is Kamen Rider Shin Kamen Rider first impression. So like I said, I do love it, but I had to what I said on Twitter, I had to digest the movie. Essentially, like, I had to digest it. I had to talk about it with my friend, who, like, I came in with a friend who's not as big into Kamen Rider or Tokusatsu as I am. So his knowledge is not the same, but he loved it. Like, he genuinely loved this movie. And I'm going to try to be careful. So, okay, it's going to be a little bit sporadic because I am multitasking here, as you can probably tell. It's so my mind's kind of just getting distracted and whatnot. But uh, it's like, what can I say without spoiling it? All right. So we'll go over the things that I like, and like first off, I think the action was great. Um, I really love the visual flair to it with some of the action sequences. And again, I'll go more into detail next week, and with that video, I won't be multitasking because I have something pre-recorded for that already in terms of drawing in the background. Uh, yeah, so the action was great, and uh, I really love the fight sequences. I won't go into favorites or whatnot because one, I want to watch it again. Two, spoilers and whatnot. But overall, the action was great. Each action scene felt very distinct from one another. I will say that, that was kind of nice. It reminded me, I think Ano was going for this, was that um, there was like a lot of experimentation, and which was kind of akin to the original series, uh, because, the first 13 episodes, there was a lot of experimentation going on with that and whatnot. It's again, I'm sorry, I'm just like I'm not being that good at talking. It's just again, I'm trying to focus on drawing this as well. But yeah, uh there's I felt like there was a lot of experimentation going on with the, you know, editing, the visual flair, the effects, just kind of akin to the first 13 episodes of the original series. And that is from my memory of like hearing about Ano's interviews and all that. I've heard that he likes the first 13 episodes of the series a lot. So, it's like, hey, that makes kind of sense why it's stylized a way that it is. Uh, and what else was there? There was a lot. Again, I'm trying to multitask. This is going to be a bad video. This was a bad idea, wasn't it? No, so the action was good. I loved the experimentation. I loved the framing of the shots. Like, there's some interviews with Shinji Iguchi where he's been asked of like um how he would like different it's like how it's like with working with Ano and whatnot, and it was this movie that really made me understood what he meant when he said that we're um Higuchi. No, it's like Ano, he loves to eat. No, 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 I'm sorry. Wow, I am messing it up. It's Ano who's a picky eater, but Higuchi, he loves everything. And Shin Kamen Rider made me understand that quote a lot, you know, because um I guess it's like one of the interesting and neat parts about the Shin series that it's not just Ano, it's both Ano and Higuchi's vision. And we kind of get like sort of like uh what's a good word for it? Sort of like a good control area to see. Like we get examples of their visions and work. Like we get Shin Godzilla is the collaboration between both Higuchi and Ano, where and Shin Ultraman, while it's written by Ano, it is directed by Higuchi himself, and then Shin Kamen Rider is directed by Ano, and we can actually see the different sort of directing styles, and where it's like, oh yeah, we see the differences, and and again, I know what Higuchi now means about how Ano is a picky eater because everything in Shin Kamen Rider feels very purposeful. Like every shot and the blocking, it feels very purposeful in execution. Like they're, it's very meticulous, very specific. Nothing, like everything is in place for a reason. Uh, so there is that element that I really liked with that. The cinematography. It's just I genuinely like the cinematography in Ano's work overall. I should look up the cinematographer for Shin Kamen Rider, but I'm also focusing on this right now. I mean, you can look it up. It's not like hard or anything. Um, so cinematography is great. I really like the story that I was going for and the themes and messages. Like there is like a theme of humanity. Oop, got a burp. Of like there's a lot of like in these Shin like movies. There's a lot of like theming around humanity. You know, overall, like humanity is just such an important like subject in all the Shin movies, but here it's about this individual humanity as well as like community, and there's like and along with humanity there's the theme of happiness. That is a big theme throughout the movie, is happiness, and how in order for us to really experience happiness, we have to experience despair and pain. They aren't exclusive, and you can't just have happiness without despair, and you can't have happiness without connections. You know, um, and again, I'll go more into thoughts once I've collected my thoughts. Again, this is definitely a first impression video for sure. Um, yeah, so I like the themes of happiness, uh, and just how they executed that. The actors all did a phenomenal job. A special shout out to Hongo's and Ichimonji's actors. They did a fantastic job throughout the movie. Especially, I want to give a special shout out to Ichimonji because that just felt straight. Like he felt straight out, uh, ripped from the 1971 show, and I love Ichimonji. He's one of my favorite writers, and I like how the angle they took from uh Hongo's original like sort of conflict in the original show, how you know he's tormented of being a cyborg now, but it's like they take it in one, they elevated it, but they also take it in a different direction than I was expecting, which is cool. Definitely cool how they took that direction and ran with it. Um, but yeah, it's been like I can't. I'm sorry how don't have any notes on me, and I'm also focused on drawing Hongo right here on the bike. You know, so sorry for this. Uh, what else do I have to say about the movie? Ruiko's actress, she does a great job. Uh, Ruiko as a character was someone I had to kind of get like, I had to understand a bit more as the movie progressed to, you know, see where she's coming from. But once I did, it's like, yeah, you know, I get where she is coming from, and I respect. Uh, and I'm trying to think. I should have wrote notes or something like this. Oh my god, This is gonna be a bad video, isn't it, guys? Whatever. Gotta please the algorithm somehow. um, yeah. I do want to comment without going into spoilers. And again, it's kind of hard to talk about the movie without really going into spoilers. Um, but I am trying my best. Uh, the costumes. I really loved the costume design in this movie. Very, it was really top notch. Like full on, everyone's costumes from how they, and designs. Like, I really like the updated look for, the riders and the kaijin. I do think, my favorite design has to be Kumo Og, or the Spider Man Spider or Spider Man, however you would like to say it. Uh, just the red and black and how they've updated the classic look, but it's like also very unique. You know, really, you know, like I just really like that look. I love the helmet especially. Um, yeah, so there's that. Oh my goodness. Remind me to never do a video like this again. Ugh. This is just so bad. uh and what else is there to talk about? There's a lot of positives, and again, once I see the movie again, I will definitely have a more collected, like, I'll have my thoughts more collected, and we'll go from there. Um I do want to address though real quick. I haven't really watched anybody else's video on the reviews because I don't want people's opinions really influencing my own for a first impression video. Um, but I noticed, on Twitter, people were mentioning that they felt the pacing was really bad, and that is something like a common thing I've seen in terms of the Shin universe of just the pacing of these movies has been it's been like diversive to say the least. And I think the problem is not the pacing, um or so to say, it's like it's a very the best way to describe it is that it's the story structure that's causing pacing issues, or why people think it has pacing issues. Because I do think it is an oddly structured movie. And in fact, it's like the most odd, oddly structured movie in the entire Shin universe. Because so let me break it down. So I think in terms of story structure and pacing, Shin Godzilla gets the least amount of complaints about, other than perhaps like the third act feeling a bit slow. And that is because they're adapting a movie. You know, in a sense, like it is a movie that they are adapting, so the structure is going to be like of a movie. With Shin Ultraman, they wanted to adapt a TV show. So for that, the sorry, the structure is feels more like an episodic TV show, and it does work. In my opinion, it does work. Because it's it goes full in on that structure really well. So this is where Shin Kamen Rider gets. It's a very interesting case. So essentially, Shin Kamen Rider is a very odd structured even for the Shin movies because it's trying to adapt the um both the TV show, the 1971 original, as well as the manga, Shotaro Ishimoji's original manga. And manga and TV shows, they're very much structured differently. So that causes what we get is a very unique structure and to this movie where parts of it feel like it's from an episodic TV show. I think like the first part feels akin to more of that episodic element from the original like show. And then the second half of the movie, if like the pacing and structure sort of go more into the movie as they start to focus more on adapting the manga and how that's structured. So, and you know what? To go into the manga, like the manga, that's a bit oddly structured as well because the original, like the first two chapters feel a bit episodic, and then it kind of like slowly transitions into more of a serialized story element. Um, yeah, so we're so I think that's where a lot of people were coming from. It's like why it feels very much like such an like oddly paced movie is because it's oddly structured, but it's very purposeful. Um, what else is there to talk about as I continue drawing this? And by the way, guys, how is this coming along for you guys? Uh, I think it's turning out pretty well, but hey, I'm the artist in the middle of the process. Uh, and I'm kind of just like I'm probably like over rendering it just to buy time. To giving you a bit more time, which hey, who knows? Might be good for the channel, might not. This might be the worst video I've ever made. Who knows? Who knows? But hey, hopefully this thumbnail is very appealing at the end of it. Um, yeah, it's man, it's kind of sucks. Like last night, I had a lot to say about this movie, and again, it's just so hard. It's like once I talk into spoilers, and next week, I won't have this problem. Hopefully, where I can just be like, "Yep, that's my thoughts. That's my thoughts right there." Full blown. Um, I will say for the action, I like how like I love how different each action scenes are. I think I've said that before in this video, but to go over more so with some of the experimentation, they play around with the frame rate a bit and some of the action, and it creates a very unique style and flourish for this movie. Um, and it feels very akin to live action anime, sort of like how like and like in a successful manner, and like how Speed Racer, the 2008 Speed Racer, does it. Um, yeah, there's a lot of elements like that involved with the movie, with the editing and playing around with the frame rate. Um, let's see. Shoot. I'm. What can I talk about without spoiling anything? Again, I genuinely love this movie, and sorry, it's just been very sporadic. I've just been focusing on drawing this as I'm talking. Normally, I don't do this for a good reason. Um, but yeah, it was a blast for sure. And by the way, just like my local theater, usually like these showings, like they don't get that big of a turnout. Shin Ultraman didn't get that great of a turnout in my local theater, but Shin Kamen Rider actually had a fairly decent turnout, um, which was kind of surprising to me, just because these type of movies don't generally do that well in my area. So it was a nice thing to see in my local theater that, hey, people are actually showing up for Kamen Rider. So Toei, that's a sign. That's a sign that says, get your butts going. We want Kamen Rider here in the States. Please. Um, what else can I talk about? What can I talk about? Again, I will have my thoughts, in a more dedicated spoiler section. I don't do rankings for movies personally. I kind of just go on gauge of whether I like it or not, and I really like Shin Kamen Rider. Uh, if I had to go with flaws, it's like I did struggle to kind of vibe with it early on. I think I mentioned that. And again, that could be due to just me having a bit more of a connection to, I don't have that strong of a connection like to Kamen Rider as I do to, say, Godzilla and Ultraman. But and there's plenty of references to Kamen Rider, not just to the original series, but to many other series as well. I'll go more into details with that in the next video I do about Shin Kamen Rider. And yeah, so I'm trying to think, is there anything else I can really um talk about in this video without spoiling anything? I'm just kind of dragging it out right now. It's probably obvious. Um, let's see. I'm trying to collect my thoughts. I might, you know what? I think I've been kind of rambling on a bit too much for about half an hour. You know, so should you watch Shin Kamen Rider? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Please watch Shin Kamen Rider. If you didn't go see it, uh, Wednesday, there's one more chance to see it in theaters. Uh, there's one more chance to see it in theaters Monday night. I'll try to get this video out before then. Um, yeah, see, this is why it's a first impression, because my thoughts are all scatterbrained and I'm focusing on this thumbnail, which I've just gone really hard on. Too bad I won't be getting this made to print because of just how I'm doing it 72p. But hey, it's not looking too bad. Not looking bad at all. Uh, I don't think I have anything I could talk about on my first impressions anymore. So I'm gonna cut it out here. And then I'll touch base back on the spoiler review. I'll have notes written out and whatnot, and just go more into detail. So yeah. Anyways, sorry for kind of the meh video, but I really wanted to get some of my initial feelings about the movie out of the way. And without trying to spoil anything. So, yeah, there you go. Next week, look out for a spoiler review. Until then, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Take care and shwatch!